Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Commercial banks in the country have witnessed a significant increase in their earnings. Latest report by the Bank of Ghana puts total industry profits after tax for 2019 at 3.3 billion cedis. George Afe has more.
The 3.3 billion Ghana cedi profits represent about 38% jump over what was reported in 2018. According to the Bank of Ghana, the earnings posted by the 23 banks in the country put together was due to the significant increase in profits from interest-earning businesses as well as fees and commissions outstripping growth in expenses for 2018. The central bank in the same report noted that growth in key revenue lines outstripped the increase in expenditure, resulting in that strong profits for 2019. For some, this could be an indication that the much talked about confidence in the banking sector has indeed firmly stabilized a year after the Bank of Ghana completed cleaning up the sector. The report also highlighted an improvement in most areas of operations of the banks. One can talk about capital adequacy ratio, which measures the industry's solvency position and its ability to absorb potential losses from credit and operational risk, also going up significantly, while liquidity and financial indicators also saw a broad improvement. The banks also depended heavily on deposit mobilized to fund their operations for last year. From the 83.4 billion Ghana cedis mobilized for last year, 99.6% were raised locally. That represents about 22% jump over what was recorded in 2018. The Bank of Ghana believes that these earnings can be strongly linked to regulatory reforms and the recent recapitalization of the sector, adding that the industry is now well positioned to undertake efficient financial intermediation to support the growth of the economy.
The Ghana Statistical Service has set the first week of June to begin listing all structures across the country as part of the 2020 Housing and Census program. Now, the 2020 census, which is going to be digital, according to the Statistical Service, will be an improved version of the previous ones. Deputy Government Statistician David Combat, who addressed the media in Accra, gave highlights of the program, which would begin in June.
We are preparing towards June 15th. We will start with the listing of structures in the communities, and it is going to be done in all communities in Ghana, all communities, and we start on the same day. The listing of structure will start on the 15th of May of June, and on the 28th of June is going to be our census date. And when we say a census date, if we had the capacity to enumerate everybody on that day, we will do that night of 28th, but we are not able to do that. Because we are not able to do that, we would usually, carry out some activities that will make the day memorable. That night, we'll carry out activities. We'll get the fire service to go out with their sirens. In the local the villages, we'll get the gong beaters to make noise. We organize record dances in some of the areas, so that people can always refer to that night when there was an unusual noise, so that they can always refer to it. This census is a de facto count census. We want to enumerate people where they'll be found on the census night.
Now, the Minister for Aviation has revealed that Ghana is exploring a $10 million solar project with the Indian government for Ghana's airports. The adoption of solar energy for our airports is in line with the International Civil Aviation Organization's push for the use of more renewable energy sources in response to the threat of climate change. The Minister, Kofi Adda, revealed this when the Indian High Commissioner to Ghana paid him a courtesy visit. Sheila Tamaklo has the rest of this story.
Currently, India's Cochin International Airport, located in the state of Kerala, is the first solar power airport in the world. According to the Minister for Aviation, following a visit to India last year, government has begun negotiations on adopting similar solar energy sources at our airports. He spoke after a courtesy call from the Indian High Commissioner to Ghana.
Team came down from here, invited us over. We went to see what was done there, and they brought their proposals, went around the airports and assessed them, and brought cost, and also brought financing facility from the Indian Exim Bank on what they could do. It's about nearly $10 million that they want to use to convert all the airports to solar in Ghana. Of course, it will increase over time, but for now, that's what they proposed. I think it's slightly over $10 million, just around that figure. We've been able to share with the Minister of Finance. They are assessing that if they do find it within the financial arrangements for the year, would get the approval and would be able to get the Cabinet and Parliament to get that passed. Once that is passed, it means all our airports will be converted to solar airports, and then they will reduce the cost. I think the cost, from what I hear, would probably go down by nearly 30% of what they're paying now.
The Indian High Commissioner to Ghana also pledged their country's support for the project and Ghana's aviation industry.
Because we are waiting for the concrete proposal to be approved and then to be financed under this scheme or under this proposal from the government of Ghana. So, so these are some of the areas which I discussed as possible areas as of now with Ghana, but there could be many more areas.
For Joy Business, Shleta Maklo reporting.
Well, there's plenty more coming up at 1 o'clock on the marketplace. In the meantime, News Today continues with sports.